This is AFL.com.au and it is time for another Gillette AFL trade update. We are a week into the trade period, 2 weeks into free agency. So what's been happening? Matt Thompson alongside Ashley Brown. Ash, you broke the story last night. Tom Murphy from the Hawks, he's leaving the club.
Yes, he's been there 8 years, Matty. Good move for Tom to go to the Gold Coast. I think he'll get regular game time, provide some leadership to a young team and some stability for their back line as well.
Of course, Tom made news by missing out on the grand final. He handled that particularly well. Do you reckon Hawks fans will be disappointed to see him leave?
I think most Hawk fans will look at it and say, you know, he deserves the opportunity to go and play some regular senior footy elsewhere. He's part of the leadership group at Hawthorn, so he will still be missed.
Another story that we've been following very closely is the fortunes of free agent Brent Maloney, and he has landed at the Brisbane Lions, passing that medical and signing that contract. This is great news for him after he had that falling out with coach Mark Neal at Melbourne. I think it's fair to call it a falling out, isn't it? He was the best and fairest the year before, and then last year, or this season, just couldn't really find his feet.
Yeah, something happened there, Matt. Not sure what it is, but he fell out of the coach's plan, so good move for him to go to Brisbane again. Brisbane a bit weak on clearances. Maloney, that's his strong suit. He'll be a fantastic addition to their midfield.
We caught up with Brent Maloney a short time ago. Brent, thanks for joining us on AFL.com.au. You must be so excited to be in Brisbane Lions colours.
Yeah, look, I'm pumped and just really looking forward to the opportunity and just really excited about being a Brisbane Lion.
In terms of the fit, how do you reckon you're going to fit in at Brisbane, and what kind of expectations has Michael Voss put on you?
Yeah, look, I think it's a perfect fit for me. They've got a young midfield. Obviously got Simon Black and Andrew Rains. They're the only two guys who are over 23 years old. So I think they need that little bit more experience, and just really looking forward to being that inside midfielder and helping them out with that contested footy.
Now, a lot's been made, obviously, of the circumstances in which you've departed Melbourne. It was your call, though?
In the end, I spoke to Mark Neal and I wanted to be open and honest and upfront with him, and I told him the day after we finished that I wanted to move on and I felt that I needed an opportunity somewhere else, and Melbourne have been fantastic, and they've supported my decision, and I respect that. So.
I guess the Melbourne fans, though, and some of them are disappointed to see you go, are wondering how you can go from being best and fairest to not getting a place in the team. Did you get satisfactory reasons from Nildy as to why that was the case?
We spoke weekly. I had meetings with him.
What did he say?
There's a number of things. I just probably wasn't in great form, and that was it in the end. But obviously his game style probably didn't suit my style of play, and that was the thing in the end.
Did you think that in turn affected your form?
I do. But obviously, I had a full pre-season, so there was no excuse for me not to have, the same same type of season I had in 2011. So that was a frustrating thing for me, not being able to do what I could do, the year before.
Brent Maloney with us on AFL.com.au, Brisbane bound. So, a couple of weeks to go of this frenzy. What is going to happen next? I guess the Kurt Tippett deal is the big one that is yet to be done.
That's right, Matty. The big one being Kurt Tippett. Look, the deal will get done. The Swans can't afford, and Adelaide can't afford for it not to happen. Sydney will have to fork over its first round pick. It's the other player in the mix that will decide when this deal gets done. Bit of talk about Tom Mitchell being plucked, the father-son pick of the Swans. This will sort itself out. Give it another few days, it will get done.
Chris Dawes is the other big fish, I guess, that is still to find himself a new home. What are you hearing there? Because it sounds like it's a really interesting race.
It is. Look, it's probably a race in two. Carlton would be the outsider, but I'd say that between Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs, the Bulldogs have been interesting because it's all about developing their own. But a guy like Dawes at 24 fits into that young player, build them up for the next 5-6 years. I think Melbourne with the Lee Brown and Mark Neal connection, he knows them both from Collingwood. That'd be my bet to eventually get Dawes' signature.
North Melbourne's Hamish McIntosh likely to make the move to Geelong. We're hearing that the medical has come back clear. He has had his injury problems this year, though, Hamish, hasn't he?
Yeah, he missed with a leg injury, missed part of the season. But again, that deal will get done. There was talk it could get done today. Possibly, I would say over the weekend, they'll make up their mind there.
All right, and a few of the smaller fish, if you like, Ash, that we're still hearing murmurs about. What are you hearing there?
Well, there's guys like Kobe Stevens, the West Coast player, still looking for a place to go. Ben Jacobs from Port Adelaide wants to come back to Victoria. That deal will need to get done. Gold Coast ruckman Tom Hickey will get to St Kilda. We'll see that deal get done in the next few days. Well, St Kilda in a tricky situation. They'd like to get Mitch Brown over from West Coast, of course. The issue with St Kilda is they're still waiting another week to find out which compensation pick they get for losing Brent and Goddard. So they can't really finalise their trading until they know exactly what picks they've got to offer.
And I guess just finally, this period is all new to us in terms of this format. We've seen a lot get done in the first couple of weeks, haven't we?
It's been I think it's been a really good outcome, both free agency and trade period. Makes it longer, makes us journos work a bit harder for the stories, Matty, I think. But I think you see deals like the Bulldogs with Brian Lake on Monday. What it does is teams thinking more creatively about their list and how to deal with it, moving guys on a year before free agency finishes so that they can maximise the compensation they get.
You should see the phones going off in the AFL.com.au office. It's a bit of a frenzy in there at the moment.
Your dry cleaner's one on the Matty.
Apparently. We'll see what happens next. Keep clicking back to AFL.com.au right across the weekend for the very latest from the Gillette AFL trade and free agency period. We've still got a couple of weeks to go.